When it comes to protecting the village of Konoha, Sasuke Uchiha doesn't have too many lines he isn't willing to cross, and when Sasuke's taking a notion that someone is seeking to harm the village, he won't hesitate to walk into the darkness to do what needs to be done. However, during the Boruto era, Sasuke finds himself in a bit of a strange situation. During this part in the timeline, the S Rank mission that he's undergone has taken him to the Land of Water to investigate a cult faction that plans to carry out terrorist acts that directly put Konoha in harm's way. He's already saved Konohamaru, who was on an entirely different mission at this time, from a group of 12 ninjas who had ties to the group that Sasuke investigated. Now, as he's returned to Konoha, he's found his student Boruto Uzumaki has unknowingly put Sasuke's daughter Sarada onto an unofficial mission with the very person Sasuke believes is the ringleader of this group of terrorists who mean to destroy the village. In today's edition of Sasuke Shinden, the teacher star pupil, which I'll leave links to down in the description box, we're going to take a look at the moment after Sasuke uses perfect Susanoo to threaten the assassins in the arena after he saved Boruto and Sarada. It's in the time after this event took place that Sasuke briefly makes it known that he's surprised and a little disappointed that Boruto would have taken on a mission from a client who was clearly not being honest with him. It was a sign that Sasuke's suspicion about his student was correct, that Boruto, despite having all the potential in the world, Boruto's emotions tend to cloud his judgment at times, and that Boruto isn't ready to travel alongside Sasuke for every moment of brilliance that Boruto has due to how he was raised and his inherently good nature. The good aspects of his personality would be a liability traveling with Sasuke. Now, in case any of you guys are wondering, when in the timeline does this take place? It's set in the months in the timeline between the Mujina Bandits arc and before the Vessel arc of the manga. In the scene I'm going to share with you guys, Sasuke has captured Boruto's client, the pop singer named Lily, by throwing a shuriken at the wire that was holding up the catwalk when she attempted to escape from the arena. Sasuke grabs the young woman and places her under arrest, tying her limbs to a chair, and he begins to interrogate her. Almost immediately, Boruto begins taking the young woman's side, insisting that Sasuke's made a mistake. While Mitsuki listens closely to Sasuke's lecture, and Sarada thinks over the new intel that has confirmed her prior suspicion that Lily is not someone to be trusted. More than once, Sasuke has to let it known either directly or indirectly to Boruto that he never expected his student to take on a mission like this in such a reckless manner, and that it was through his investigation that he knows Lily has ties to a cult in the Land of Water that he's been trying to prevent from attacking the village. Despite the hard evidence that Sasuke displays, Boruto still looks for ways to take Lily's side, even as Sasuke begins to interrogate her. With the scene and the context finally being set, it's here I'm going to begin reading the scene from the novel in selected passages, and then I'll come back to you guys with my thoughts, and it's here I'm going to begin quoting. "So what?" Lily snapped in a hard voice. She glared up at Sasuke. "I am indeed a member of that group. And I also acknowledge that my father is the ringleader known as the Holy Master, but that's got nothing to do with me. I hate that closed-minded rural island. I fled to the Land of Fire because I wanted to be an idol in this city," Lily said. Sasuke narrowed his eyes coldly. "So, you're saying you didn't slip into the Land of Fire with the intention of spying? Is that what you're trying to say?" Sasuke asked. "I didn't. I hate my dad and all of his friends. They're obsessed with that old way of thinking. I just wanted to be an idol," Lily said. "It's true, old man Sasuke." Boruto stepped in between Lily and Sasuke. "There's no way Lily's a bad guy," Boruto pleaded. Sasuke glanced wordlessly at Boruto and then turned back to Lily. "We'll be going with a warning for now. I've already obtained a fair bit of information on you, so I'll know if you're lying to me. You're going to answer my questions now," Sasuke said. "There's no reason for you to arrest me, you know," Lily snarled at Sasuke. "You're the ones who are gonna be in trouble if you hurt me, like, okay? I've got a ton of lovely soulmates and all these memorial memories that we've built up together. Don't underestimate our love connection," Lily said. It was plain from the look on Sasuke's face that he had no idea what she was talking about. Boruto stepped forward. "The lovely soulmates are her fans," Boruto quickly explained. "And the memorial memories are times that she shared with her fans. The love connection is the bond that they have with their old man Sasuke." Sasuke took a moment to digest all this information. "At any rate, you'll be under shinobi monitoring from now on," Sasuke said. You mean arrest, right?" "I'm innocent," Lily said. My fans won't just stand by quietly, you know. They'll come after you, hard," Lily threatened. "Do you really think I care about something like that?" Well, you might not, but what about the Hokage? The look on Sasuke's face changed at the mention of the Hokage. Lily smiled at Sasuke. The way the Hokage works. Everyone's always watching him, a shinobi under the orders of the Hokage, illegally restraining an innocent idol. You don't think that that would cause a scandal? I've got tons of people watching my back, you know. Her tone was challenging. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. So let's start with the questions. Sasuke was undeterred. What's your objective in coming to this country? Lily clucked her tongue before responding reluctantly. I left my hometown because I wanted to be an idol. The islanders are forbidden from leaving, so I boarded a ship in secret and I fled here. And when exactly was this? It was 3 years ago, right around the time when more and more islanders were wanting to be open to the outside world and the extremists were beginning to fight back. And what's your connection to this extremist faction? Sasuke asked. Well, I don't have one. I left them a long time ago. About the only contact I've had with them is when they warned me about the assassination attempt. So then, you did realize the letter was from them? Sasuke asked. Well, you know, I figured they'd find out where I was eventually once I got famous, and I am pretty famous. Lily replied smoothly. Sasuke carefully searched her face. What reason do they have to hate you? I guess because I abandoned the group and I came to the Land of Fire to become an idol. They hate this place, and they never forgive traitors. I know they'll come for me again, but we can use that against them. Lily looked up at Sasuke with her large round eyes. I'll be the bait. The extremists hate me for leaving. They hate me for leaving the island and pandering to the Land of Fire. They'll be sure to try and kill me again. I can be the bait that lures them in. It's an admirable proposal, but there's still one important question remaining, Sasuke said. Where's your father? End quote. So what really should stand out to you guys right here is the fact that Lily does not hide the fact that her father is the ringleader, known as the Holy Master for the cult in the Land of Water. However, despite this, Boruto still insists that she's a good person, that she can be trusted, despite Sasuke giving Boruto a pretty stern look when Boruto says this. Now, we see a few signs that Boruto's trust is absolutely misguided. Lily is written as having a snarl on her face when she's speaking to Sasuke. She's clucking her tongue, she's challenging him in indirect ways, she's actually threatening Sasuke. No longer is she this sweet and bubbly character that Boruto met earlier on in the novel. She's glaring at Sasuke, and her story feels very convenient at times. When Sasuke directly asks her if she's a spy, she denies it, which those of you guys who have been following this story from the very beginning, you know that that's something that stands out, and Sasuke definitely catches on to it. When Boruto and company first meet Lily, she had a lot of detail on Boruto and Team 7, more detail than an ordinary citizen of Konoha should have, especially one who's only been in the village for 3 years. She knew about Team 7 being standouts as Genin, Sarada Sharingan, Kekkei Genkai, their ninjutsu, and she had specific intel on them to get Team 7 to be able to trust her. It's why Sarada was initially suspicious, but Mitsuki siding with Boruto was enough to make Sarada take on the mission because she didn't want to be the odd man out. Sasuke directly tells Lily, do not lie to me. I'll know if you're lying because I have intel on you. He doesn't have to draw a sword here. His intentions were loud and clear, evident by the fact that he casually unleashed a perfect Susanoo inside an arena with 50,000 people just to show Lily and the assassins that he wasn't somebody to mess around with. Sasuke has had plenty of intel on her, enough that Sasuke is confident in placing Lily under arrest, despite the fact that Sasuke himself doesn't have the authority to make that call, and Lily knows this, which is why she brings up the PR nightmare that this would make for Naruto's Hokage, and that the Hokage would view this matter very differently. What we're seeing right here is a chess game that's essentially an S rank mission for Sasuke. He knows that she's likely the ringleader of the cult that plans to attack the village, but his student is being used as a pawn in this chess match due to Sarada being involved in the mission that Boruto accepted, one that she shouldn't have accepted in the first place. Sasuke has no choice but to cede some ground to Lily when she makes a threat about the Hokage. However, that's gonna be it for my video today, guys. So my question for you guys is, do you think Boruto is ready to travel with Sasuke, or does this show that Boruto, despite being a prodigy, isn't ready to travel with Sasuke yet? And as a second question, you guys, which is very important, I'm using a new microphone right now, so let me know, do you think the audio settings are about where they need to be? Is the voice loud enough? Playing around with the settings and everything, I've got bad hearing. So if you guys can tell me, are the audio levels where they need to go? As always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Have an awesome day, guys.